Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizjack. I'm a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of Appreciation Academy. And I teach online business owners that happiness comes first. Because how many times have you been going through life just wanting your business to grow, wanting things to change, but you've noticed that you're having such a hard time getting ahead, and you find that your happiness, your joy is getting sucked out of life in the process, and you just feel so stressed out all the time. That's what this podcast is all about, helping you break through that to get to the next level. So today you're probably noticing that the sound quality isn't as good and that the video quality isn't as good. That is because I am here in sunny Miami, Florida for a Tony Robbins conference, and I am recording this podcast from the WeWork in downtown Miami. So bear with me this week, but I promise you it'll be amazing content, so stick with me. So this is all about being the example in your life. So right now, you probably want things to change, right? You're listening to this podcast because you want personal growth. You want to change your mindset. You want to change your life. You want these different areas, whether it's your business, your bank account, your parenting, your relationship to improve, right? You want those things to change. But question for you, are you being the example of the person that would make those things change? For me, for example, when I wanted my life to change, I would look at let's use business, for example. I'd want my business to change, right? I wanted the amazing results. I wanted the money to start flowing in. I wanted all of this stuff to happen. But I found that I was on the couch wishing my life was different, feeling stuck and not getting to where I wanted to be. And so when I sat down and looked at that, I was going, wait, am I really being the example of the growth that I want to see, the change I want to see? Because right now, the world needs more positive, uplifting people than ever before. Like, think about like people that watch the news. If you ever see the news, what is it always showing? It's always showing negativity. It's always showing drama. It's always showing something that's going on that is not good, right? Why? Because media companies, they grow from getting advertisements. And the way that they get advertisements is more eyeballs. The way that you get more eyeballs is actually catching attention. And the best way to catch attention and get more eyeballs is through fear, which is why they're always sharing murder here, or stock market does this, or this company's in trouble, right? So right now, the world needs more positive people than ever before. So my question for you, if you're trying to be that uplifting voice in the world, are you being an example of that when no one else is around? Because your life will start to reflect how you think about yourself when you're by yourself. So ask yourself, if you're by yourself, what goes through your head? What do you do when no one else is looking, right? So think about this from the perspective of trying to get someone to change their life in your business, right? You want people to take action on buying that program. You want people to take action for joining your team or investing in you as their coach, their leader, whatever it is. And you want that to happen. But when they're not looking, are you being the example of that? Let's use the example of weight loss, right? A lot of people get stressed out and judge their spouse, their partner, for not getting to the place where they're working out or they're being healthy, right? So if your spouse is overweight, what a lot of people will do is they'll say, you need to lose weight, right? But here's the thing. Does that actually inspire them to change? Does it actually inspire them to lose weight if you're telling them they need to lose weight? No. What actually inspires someone to lose weight? What inspires someone to lose weight is you getting healthy results yourself and then feeling the energy, feeling the change from that example. When people join you, they don't join you for the product or service or business. They join your energy. They join who you are. They join how you feel. And so if that is elevated and you feel great on a regular basis, then people will want to be part of who you are. They won't even care what it costs. They just know they'll need to be part of that community that you're building. So you're trying to get people to change their life. I'm curious, what are you trying to get people to change their life in? Are you trying to get people to change their life through a product that you sell? Well, are you an example of that on a regular basis? I'm not saying be perfect, because perfection is the lowest standard you can have. You're going to have slip-ups. You're going to mess up. That's okay. But are you being an example of how that product demonstrates and helps other people? And if not, if you're saying this is the best thing in the world, but then your actions contradict that, do you see how trust isn't formed? The same thing goes for motivation and inspiration. A lot of people I work with, they want to be an inspiration for people on their social media platforms, but they're not inspired themselves. Put this in your notes. You cannot inspire someone if you're not already inspired yourself. It's literally impossible to inspire someone else if you're not inspired yourself. So how do you do that? You focus on your own mindset, your own growth first. You need to make sure that you are coming from a place of inspiration if you want to help other people. So many people ask me, but why don't people comment on my posts? But why don't people respond to me or join my groups when I post them on social media? The reason is because they don't feel you. They don't feel inspired by you. They don't feel motivated by you. They don't feel changed by you. And the reason is because you don't feel changed yourself. And if you do start changing this and you feel change yourself, you do feel inspired, there's always going to be a lag time between when you start applying this stuff and changing your life to where people will catch on. Because let me guess, there have been years of sharing this stuff to try to build your business from a place of a lack of inspiration. Just one social media post is not going to change 2, 3, 4 years of not going about it from an inspired place. So if you are trying to be someone's inspiration in their life, are you inspired? If the answer is no, you just found out why no one's joining you because you're not inspired yourself. It all starts from within. Your external world is a mirror for your internal world. So if you are not changing how you feel on the inside, you're not going to change other people on the outside. You have to be the example of the change that you want to see in someone else's life, right? So if you want someone to take a courageous action and give you their dollars to join your business, if you want someone to join you and become a leader, if you want someone to be inspired by your stuff, well, are you taking courageous action? Are you doing the scary thing that you want them to do? Are you investing in your growth? Are you doing the things that freak you out? If the answer is no to that question, you just found why they're not joining you because you're not being an example. Let's use the example of kids at home, right? I work with a lot of parents. They're like, I just wish my kids were less crazy and just less freaking out because then I'd be able to actually get things done. But question, how stressed are you at home? How wired for anxiety are you at home? Right? Your kids will, it's monkey see, monkey do. It's not if you say it, they're going to listen. It's if you do it, they'll start to follow suit. So if that's their form of self-expression when they're feeling something, right? So let me ask you this. When you're at home, are you calm and peaceful and cool and collected and grateful and happy? Are you being the example to your kids, or are you being anxious and stressed out all the freaking time, expecting your kids to be total angels? It doesn't make sense. And obviously, there are some situations where the kid's going to be nuts either way, right? That's normal. But are you being the example for them, right? If you want more money to improve your family's lifestyle, if you want that to change and you want your bank account to grow, well, what does your action look like? Do you spend money on clothes to feel better about the fact that your bank account isn't growing? Or do you invest your dollars into personal growth to learn more, to grow more? That's what's going to change the game. You have to invest in yourself to grow. Let's use leadership for your team, right? You want your team, like, especially I work with a lot of network marketers, right? A lot of network marketers want their team to grow. In order for your team to grow, you need 5, 10 really rock solid people that are leaders that are growing their own organizations, right? Amazing. You want to attract leaders to your business. Well, are you being a leader? And how do you be a leader? You have a vision that you follow on a regular basis. You don't overreact when something happens negative, and you close the gap between that painful situation that you're in now, and you create the vision you want through day-to-day courageous action. Well, if you want to attract other people that do that, do you do that? Do you do that? Do you have a vision for your life that you read every day? Do you go through and try your hardest to create that vision, or do you find yourself on the couch eating nachos feeling sorry for yourself that your business hasn't grown? Right? If you want your life to change, if you want your team to change, if you want all of this to happen, are you acting like the leader that you want to attract? It always starts with you because your business, your life is a reflection for how you feel on the inside. So what do you want your life to look like? Do you even know? If you don't know what you want your life to look like, that might be a reason why things seem to be so confusing from time to time. So you need to take some time and identify, what does that ideal day look like? What would it take? Would it take a really big team? Would it take amazing kids? Would it take an amazing bank account? What do you want that ideal day to look like? And who do you have to be now to make that happen? Because you don't go after these goals for the goals themselves. You go after the goals for the person you become along the way, for the lives you touch, for how you grow. And so if you can see what you want to happen and be that now, the game changes forever. But you have to be the example. And here's the thing. Being the example can feel lonely. It can feel really lonely at times because other people aren't the example, are they? 98% of people won't do this. 98% of people aren't going to go about their life in that way. They're not going to live the example they want to see in the world. They're going to blame, they're going to play victim, they're going to feel sorry for themselves. So you're probably surrounded by a lot of people that don't think this way. And that's okay, because stepping up as a leader can sometimes be lonely. Right? So that's why it's so important that you surround yourself with people that are playing ball at such a high level. If you do that and you surround yourself with people that are playing ball at a high level, you're not going to feel as lonely, and you're going to realize that you're not crazy. Plus, if you're around these people playing ball at a high level, they're crushing it. They're going to level you up so you become a better example. Just remember that if you want to help someone change their life, you have to be changing your own. right? You have to be the example. That's the whole point of this podcast. Are you being the example of what action you want to see people take in their life, right? So if you want to build a big business, what does that big business need? Leadership, courage, integrity, hustle, heart, all that stuff. Well, of those, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on your leadership, on your courage, on your bravery, all this stuff. Rate yourself. And if those numbers aren't pretty high, you just found why you're not attracting that to your life. Your life is a reflection of how you feel on the inside. So if you want to attract amazing things to your life, you have to be the example of an amazing life before that amazing life will ever happen. So I hope this helps today. Where do you need to make that change? Because there's somewhere in your life right now where things aren't going the way that you want. And by the way, that's the recipe for unhappiness. The recipe for happiness is where your life matches up with how you think it should be. That's happiness. The recipe for unhappiness is your life doesn't match up with how you think it should be. So where in your life are you not happy? And what do you need to change to be a better example in that area, right? Do you know that you need to be more positive, more uplifting, more optimistic? What changes do you need to make in that arena? When you make those changes, the game changes forever. So be the example, realize not many people are going to do this, and that's okay. Once you make this change, everything gets easier. And remember, there's always a lag time between when you make that change and when results actually come to you. So I hope you find this podcast really helpful today. Be the example and go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face, because when you're the example of that, you affect all the lives around you. I'll see you next week.